If you are watching this right now, it can only mean one thing. I have 1000 subscribers right now. Insert a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Small note, right now, as I'm recording this video, I think I may be positive for COVID. I do feel like I have the cold. I have a slight headache and my nose is a little bit... whatever. I don't feel like complete shit, but there is definitely something. So just in case I die in the next few days, I'm gonna record this special video right now. What could I possibly do to celebrate 1000 subscribers? And the answer is pretty simple. I'm gonna give you something very, very special. Something you have never seen before, heard of before. I'm not exaggerating to say I'm the first person on YouTube to actually talk about this. I guess. I haven't done any research, but I would guess I'm the first. For this special, I'm gonna review a very special tale. Something you may have heard of, but something that was never released. And no, it's not Heart of the Jedi. It's similar, but it's something different. And no, it's not Escape from Dagu. I wish it was. That would also be pretty nice. What I want to talk to you about today is Lightsider. This is it, boys. This is real. This is the actual thing. And I'm gonna give you a review of the story. And before you ask, I'm not gonna tell you how I got it or anything. But I assure you this is the real thing. And it will probably become widely available this year. I guess. I don't know. But we all know Matt Wilkins talked about this, that this may be, released. So just wait for it. I really don't know what's gonna happen with it. Okay, so now what is Lightsider? Lightsider is a novella written by Tom Veitch. It was supposed to be in the style of the Dark Forces trilogy by William C. Dietz. They were published by Dark Horse, they were little novellas between short stories and novel size, and they featured very pretty artwork by Dave Dorman. And they were released by Dark Horse, which is something special because obviously Bantam did the books, Dark Horse did the comics. Lightsider was supposed to be very similar, a novella with a lot of images, published by Dark Horse. And it was supposed to bridge Dark Empire and its sequel, Dark Empire 2, and establish some of the characters and just things that were gonna play a part in Dark Empire 2. I don't know how much I want to spoil, so I'm just gonna give you a quick overview of the story. It's pretty simple, like I said, it's a novella and not a full novel. The story begins by introducing us to the Dark Jedi under Palpatine's command. Now obviously Palpatine has died at the end of Dark Empire, and his Dark Jedi await his return, especially Cedric Kuel? I think it's supposed to be pronounced as one word, but it's just the two letters, Q-L. Cedric, obviously, we know him from Dark Empire 2, where he is kind of a main villain. Not really, but he's there, he's a presence. And this is his introduction alongside with his Dark Jedi underlings. They attack a New Republic base in the Deep Core called Glass Mountain, and that brings them to the attention of the New Republic Council, Mon Mothma, Admiral Akbar, Han, Leia, Luke. This is how the New Republic learns of the existence of these Dark Jedi, and they conceive a plan to get rid of them, basically. But I think the main purpose of the plan is just to get revenge for the destruction of the Glass Mountain base. And so Lando Calrissian and Wedge Antilles team up again to attack a place called Entar. And it's basically a space station for the Empire. They also use Luke Skywalker as a bait, so that the Dark Jedi will come to Entar, and maybe they could destroy both the station and the Dark Jedi during the battle. Luke himself goes off and has his own little adventure, I will get to this in a minute, but basically we have then two plot lines, with Lando and Wedge during the Battle of Entar, and Luke and some other things that happen that I will get to. But the battle basically, 2 of the Dark Jedi die, at least 2 that I remember. The rebels, the New Republic guys, die mostly, and it's pretty damn horrific. We get an epic scene between Lando and Cedric that I don't want to spoil too much, but it's pretty awesome. And then we have the Luke plot. Let me jump right into it, but I have to start with Cam Solusa. Obviously this was his introduction, because in Dark Empire 2, the comic, he just shows up. And yeah, sure, it says like, oh, Luke, he found information in the holocron, so he traveled to Nespis 8, 9, whatever the name of the space station is, Nespis. And there he found Cam Solusa, who used to be one of the Dark Jedi, but in Dark Empire 2 that's not really expanded upon. But Lightsider is Cam's backstory in full detail, and this really makes him a character that I care about. At the start of the book, Cam gets introduced. He just returned to the galaxy. He was 20 years old when his father, who was a Jedi, and Cam's wife and 2 children got murdered by Darth Vader. Yes, Cam used to have a family, and he says he was gone for like 35 years. Cam Solusa, and this is in the book, is 55 years old in Dark Empire 2, something that I don't think was established before. We also get a quick mention of President Palpatine, which I love, because this was obviously the thing, because George hadn't decided to call him Chancellor yet. So, Cam Solusa returns to the galaxy. He gets immediately captured by Cedric and the Dark Jedi, and they basically break his mind. And he falls to the dark side. He becomes consumed by his hatred for Darth Vader, and therefore his hatred for Luke Skywalker. And so, when Cedric leads the attack on Entar Station, against Lando and Wedge, Cam goes to face off Luke alone, who he can feel is on Nespis, this ancient space station. Luke himself has gone there because he consulted the holocron, and he talked to Ood Benar, the Tree Jedi from Dark Empire 2. This is also his introduction, his first appearance. So, because of Ood Benar's comments about, oh, you will find something on Nespis, you will find your first Jedi. So he goes there. Luke finds the remains of some Jedi who escaped during the Clone Wars but were killed by Darth Vader. And with the remains of these Jedi, he also finds a game called Lightsider. And there is just a quick mention in the book, like insert picture here, so we don't have any visuals. But it's basically the Jumanji board game, just with crystals, lightsaber crystals, I think it says. And it's a game you play both physically with the game board, but also in your mind with the Force. And when Cam Solusa arrives, they decide, okay, we could either duel with the lightsabers, or we sit down and play Lightsider, playing a little mind game. And it happens. And basically, it's like they put each other in different scenarios, playing out in visions in their mind, kind of. Luke, he sends Cam Solusa to Dagobah to talk to Yoda, and Yoda more or less like gives him the talk of like he's consumed by hatred and he has to get rid of it and all of that stuff. And Cam, he sends Luke with his next move to the place where Cam's family died, and Luke is in the shoes of Darth Vader basically. And during this final battle, Luke manages to free Cam from the dark side, from his hatred of Vader and the loss of his family and all that. And when the game is won, Cam agrees to return with Luke to the New Republic and become a Jedi. And this is where Dark Empire 2 starts. I left out some small little details, but I think that's good, because I hope you guys will get to read this story later this year. Overall, I think this is a fantastic read. It was so much fun, and it's such a great companion piece to the Dark Empire trilogy. I can only highly, highly recommend reading Lightsider once you get the chance to. And I have to make this clear. Yes, this book was cancelled back then, but I don't think for quality. Definitely not. Because this just reads like a fun 90s Star Wars book. A fun 90s Star Wars adventure, just like Heart of the Jedi. In all honesty, if I have to rank Tom Veitch's work for Star Wars, Lightsider is up there. It's definitely better than Empire's End. Which I know it's kind of unfair because Empire's End was like a rushed job and he couldn't do much, but damn, Lightsider is fun. And to me it proves Tom Veitch, let him write some short stories or even a novel. Like, his expertise is not just in comics. Like, this is a very good read. So overall, Lightsider, it's so fucking great. It's so much fun. And I just hope everyone gets a chance to read it. I'm glad I got to read it just in time for my 1000 subscriber special, because I had no idea what to do, really. So, yeah, I hope this is a good one. I'm gonna talk to you about a story you can't read yet, just to make you jealous, because I've read it. But damn, that's a good feeling to know this book exists and it's out there. And you can get your hands on it. Similar to Heart of the Jedi, it's like a magical Christmas morning where you get your present and it's exactly what you wanted. And I can only hope that this isn't the last, forgotten or lost Legends material that we are gonna see. I don't know, but I hope there's more to come.